So I just got back from my first session with my personal trainer, my very first time that I've ever hired a personal trainer. So I wanted to share with you what that was like. So in the video I recorded yesterday, I shared my story about why I'm doing this, etc. So if you're interested in that, it's the first video on this playlist. So I got to the gym, and yesterday I said that everybody was really nice there, and I had to eat my words actually, because not because of the trainer was awesome, but there's a crazy lady in the change room who was convinced that I was wearing perfume, and it's a scent-free like environment or whatever, right? So I'm like, this woman is like not believing me that I don't wear perfume. It was really weird and awkward. I actually am somebody who uses unscented laundry soap and other things. Like my shampoo and conditioner right now has like no essential oils or anything added to it. It's all completely unscented. So anyways, it was just like set me off on like a negative like spin when I first got there, because like there's nothing like being like accused of doing something that you didn't do and that person being so convinced that you did it, right? So anyways, that was annoying. So I hope I don't have to run into that crazy lady every time I go there. Anyway, so that aside, basically the session was all about just getting to know each other and him learning a little bit about me and my unique personal situation. So basically it was like a really young guy, like could be my son's age. And so that was sweet. And so we just sat at a table and he asked me a bunch of questions, things like finding out like what my goals were and my motivations and things that I might be motivated by or be demotivated by, like what works for me, what doesn't. So some of the questions were hard for me to answer because I don't have experience working out. So I don't really know what helps me. But anyways, just went through like different, like also a lot of like health things, like health history and like your family history and things like that. So we just had that conversation, helped me solidify my goals. So like my goals are to like firm up, get rid of cellulite, and become strong so that I can do calisthenics, which is something that I want to learn because to me that's more fun than just lifting weights at the gym. I'm not really that excited about that. It's just like something I'm willing to do to get strong enough to do calisthenics. So we talked about that. We talked about what my ideal weight is, and I would like to lose 15 pounds and put on more muscle mass, obviously. And what else? Just being able to wear what I want to wear, right? Like right now, I find I'm always wearing things to like hide my waist. That's like been an area of like for a long time where I just don't feel comfortable unless my waist is not sticking out, right? Like, so, it's just been a thing like since I was a child. And I actually remember the first time I became aware of my belly, I was like really young. Like I was like, I'm thinking back to like where I lived at the time. I had to have been like 5 years old, maybe like 6, if that. And like somebody came over to my house and like made a little comment about my belly to my mom, and I heard it, right? And so like my mom was like, don't say that, but I heard it. So like it literally stuck with me for like ever. So anyways, so I still have that issue where like, unless I have like a perfectly like flat stomach, I want to cover it. So anyways, my goal around that is to be able to feel comfortable in wearing clothes that I want to wear, not choosing clothes to cover like that one area of my body. So those were my goals, my physical goals. And then of course the conversation also that we had is like, is this something I want to do like beyond that. Like if I get those goals, like why am I doing this? And basically it's like from a place of wanting to maintain my muscle mass as I age so that I am healthy. Because, you know, like all these little old ladies that are like falling over, if they didn't have weak muscles. And also the truth is that if we're going to have weak muscles, we're going to have weak bones, right? Because people think your bones are just made of minerals, but they're actually like highly made of protein. So it's like, if you want to have strong bones and strong muscles, you have to eat protein. So anyways, but you need to have like strong muscles so that you don't fall, that you have balance and all those things. So like if you look around society, right, like most people are, they are like, as they age, they're just like getting smaller, right? Like physically like shorter and like weaker and like hunched over. And that's, you know, basically you start to lose your ability to do things in life, right? So, and that's not necessary, right? Like, sure, that's the trajectory that we go down if we don't do anything about it. So I'm doing something about it because I don't want to go down that trajectory. I would like to be strong until the day that I die so that I'm enjoying my life and I don't feel held back in any way. So that's the ultimate, beyond the like the aesthetics and the vanity reasons. That's like, you know, the ongoing reason, you know, to stick with, to carry into my life as it goes on. So yeah, we talked about that. And then we went to this like little room and I stepped on their little scale thing. So they have like similar to like the Hume body pod that I was mentioning in the past video that I got. It measured like all the same things. So it's kind of interesting because the one that I have, it told me my biological age was 57 and I was like, huh. And this one said I'm 50, which I'm going to be 50 in June. So, okay, we're good. But obviously you want to have like your biological age to be younger. So that's a goal. The other difference is that the Hume body pod said that my visceral fat was in normal range and theirs said that it was like too high. So that was the difference between the two scans. Otherwise, everything, like nothing else stood out to me that was different. So I don't know which one is more accurate, but anyways, we're going to use theirs, you know, to see the difference in 2 weeks. So I got 6 sessions. So I'm going to be doing like, 6 training sessions with him. So yeah, we didn't do any training today. We just had mostly a conversation and did those like markers to see the change, right? To do that tracking. So yeah. So overall, I would say like, other than the crazy lady in the change room, I had a good experience. And he's not going to make me eat like potatoes and rice and, you know, starchy vegetables and bread and like all these kind of things. Like the thing that I stepped on, it like asked you, I don't know, like what your eating style was. So like I checked on keto, even though I'm technically not keto, because I know like from the perspective of like people who are like trying to build muscle and work out, I know that their low carb is not going to be my version of low carb. So I hit the keto. So then it like, you know, gave me like macros and things like that to follow. So I'll be figuring out how to do that, to basically like get my protein up. Like it told me like, based on like what I was burning for calories right now was like 2,200 or something like that. So like, he didn't even talk about calories or anything like that. He just gave me the numbers. He knows I'm a nutritionist. So I feel like he was, you know, not like trying to be like, you know, tell me what I should do. But of course I asked, you know, his opinion because I am interested in it from a different perspective. Right. So anyways, I don't know that I'm going to follow that side of things, but I'm really going to be focused on just getting those protein numbers right. Because my goal isn't to necessarily like in 2 weeks, like the focus is not the weight. The focus is learning how to actually do the exercises properly so that I don't hurt myself and so that I'm doing them right. So I actually get results, right? Because like if you just go to those like little machines in the gym and use those, like I did that once like a couple years ago, and after I don't know if I went enough. Like I probably went 1, 2, or 3 times a week for 3 months when I had that membership, And I didn't see any change whatsoever in how my body appeared, but I did notice that I could lift, more. So like, but not by much, right? Like I'm talking like with my arms going from like 25 pounds to 35 pounds. I feel like this is going to be totally different. Like I'm going to learn like the actual skill. I'm not going to just be going on those machines. So that's really great. Let's see if there's anything else that I wanted to say. Yeah, so we'll see. I'm going to play around, look at those numbers again. I got a little app that went along with that machine. So I can look back at everything that came up on it and figure out what exactly I'm going to be working with nutrition. So I don't really like counting things, but I'm obviously willing to do the protein target and get really clear on that to make sure that over the next few weeks that I'm really focusing on it. Although of course the machine, it measured minerals and protein, and I was eating enough protein and getting enough minerals and hydration and stuff like that. But to actually build muscle, the amounts that it told me I should be consuming was about 140 something grams of protein a day. And I kind of more go for 20 to 30 grams is my minimum. So got to work up. So I'll be doing some counting this week to see that I'm actually hitting these high amounts so that I have the building blocks to make these muscles that I want to make. So there we have it. That was my first session with a personal trainer, not actually working out. So tomorrow I'm going to be having my first workout with a trainer. So I will be back for another video to share how that went. All right, we'll see you tomorrow.